In the affairs of life or of business, it is not intellect that tells us so much as character, not brain so much as heart, not genius so much as self-control, patience and discipline regulated by judgment. Hence, there is no better provision for the uses of either private or public life than a fair share of ordinary good sense, guided by rectitude. Good sense, disciplined by experience and inspired by goodness, issues in practical wisdom. Indeed, goodness in a measure implies wisdom, the highest wisdom, the union of the worldly with the spiritual, the correspondences of wisdom and goodness, says Sir Henry Taylor, are manifold, and that they will accompany each other is to be inferred not only because men's wisdom makes them good, but because their goodness makes them wise. It is because of this controlling power of character in life that we often see men exercise an amount of influence apparently out of all proportion to their intellectual endowments. They appear to act by means of some latent power, some reserved force which acts secretly by mere presence. As Burke said of a powerful nobleman of the last century, his virtues were his means. The secret is that the aims of such men are felt to be pure and noble, and they act upon others with a constraining power. Though the reputation of men of genuine character may be of slow growth, their true qualities cannot be wholly concealed. They may be misrepresented by some and misunderstood by others. Misfortune and adversity may, for a time, overtake them, but with patience and endurance they will eventually inspire the respect and command the confidence which they really deserve. It has been said of Sheridan that had he possessed reliableness of character, he might have ruled the world, whereas, for want of it, his splendid gifts were comparatively useless. He dazzled and amused, but was without weight or influence in life or politics. Even the poor pantomimist of Drury Lane felt himself his superior. Thus, when Delpini one day pressed the manager for arrears of salary, Sheridan sharply reproved him, telling him he had forgotten his station. "No, indeed, Monsieur Sheridan, I have not," retorted Delpini. "I know the difference between us perfectly well. In birth, parentage, and education, you are superior to me, but in life, character, and behavior, I am superior to you." Unlike Sheridan, Burke, his countryman, was a great man of character. He was 35 before he gained a seat in Parliament, yet he found time to carve his name deep in the political history of England. He was a man of great gifts and of transcendent force of character, yet he had a weakness which proved a serious defect. It was his want of temper. His genius was sacrificed to his irritability. And without this apparently minor gift of temper, the most splendid endowments may be comparatively valueless to their possessor. Character is formed by a variety of minute circumstances, more or less under the regulation and control of the individual. Not a day passes without its discipline, whether for good or for evil. There is no act, however trivial, but has its train of consequences, and there is no hair so small but casts its shadow. It was a wise saying of Mrs. Schimmelpenninck's mother, never to give way to what is little, or by that little, however you may despise it, you will be practically governed. Every action, every thought, every feeling contributes to the education of the temper, the habits, and the understanding, and exercises an inevitable influence. Every action, every thought, every feeling contributes to the education of the temper, The habits and the understanding and exercises an inevitable influence upon all the acts of our future life. Thus, character is undergoing constant change, for better or for worse, either being elevated on the one hand or degraded on the other. There is no fault nor folly of my life, says Mr. Ruskin, that does not rise up against me and take away my joy, and shorten my power of possession, of sight, of understanding, and every past effort of my life, every gleam of rightness or good in it is with me now to help me in my grasp of this art and its vision. The mechanical law that action and reaction are equal holds true also in morals. Good deeds act and react on the doers of them, and so do evil. Not only so, they produce like effects by the influence of example on those who are the subjects of them. But man is not the creature so much as he is the creator of circumstances. Instead of saying that man is the creature of circumstance, it would be nearer the mark to say that man is the architect of circumstance. It is character which builds an existence out of circumstance. Our strength is measured by our plastic power. From the same materials, one man builds palaces, another hovels, one warehouses, another villas. Bricks and mortar are mortar and bricks until the architect can make them something else. Thus it is that in the same family, in the same circumstances, one man rears a stately edifice while his brother, vacillating and incompetent, lives forever amid ruins. The block of granite which was an obstacle on the pathway of the weak becomes a stepping stone on the pathway of the strong. G.H. Lewis, Life of Goethe. And by the exercise of his free will, he can direct his actions, so that they shall be productive of good rather than evil. Nothing can work me damage but myself, said Saint Bernard. The harm that I sustain I carry about with me, and I am never a real sufferer, but by my own fault. The best sort of character, however, cannot be formed without effort. There needs the exercise of constant self-watchfulness, self-discipline, and self-control. There may be much faltering, stumbling, and temporary defeat, difficulties and temptations manifold to be battled with and overcome. But if the spirit be strong and the heart be upright, no one need despair of ultimate success. The very effort to advance, to arrive at a higher standard of character than we have reached is inspiring and invigorating. And even though we may fall short of it, we cannot fail to be improved by every honest effort made in an upward direction.